Hi everybody, it's Amy White with Worthy Written Words, and today we're going to work on this layout called I Am Called. And this is what it looks like in my Deseret book, Book of Mormon. And I'm going to recreate this exact same layout using this I Am Called page kit that you can find on the website. The kit comes with several items. The first is a stamp set, a clear sticker, some white word strip stickers, my business card, some washi tape, and a tab. This is a paperback Deseret book, Book of Mormon, that I'm going to recreate this page in. You can see the matching tabs that I made. I have already gessoed the page where I'm going to be doing inking. If you need to see how to do that, you can see another one of my tutorials on the YouTube channel about how to do that. And we are going to be working in 3rd Nephi, chapter 27. I'm placing just a piece of scrap paper behind my page to protect it. You could also use a craft mat. And I'm going to start with this archival ink from Ranger. It's important that whatever ink you use says waterproof so that it doesn't smudge when you add the watercolors. And I'm going to take my small flower stamp and place it flat side down on my acrylic block in a corner and then put the ink on top of the stamp. It's important that after you put it on, you check to make sure that you don't have ink on the acrylic block that will transfer, as well as your fingers. It's really easy to smudge. And I'm going to put it so that part of the flower is off of the page, right in the corner. And sure enough, you can see the ink on my fingers left a smudge on the page. So make sure you learn from me and keep your fingers clean if you get ink on them. I'm going to put another flower using the same stamp right next to it, but higher up, as well as one in the top corner. Before you do that, make sure you get some scrap paper and put it on the opposite side of your page so that you can get the ink where you need it and protect the page on the other side. If you put a stamp down and the whole image doesn't transfer, it's okay. I'm going to use this Jelly Roll pen because it's waterproof, and I'm going to just color in the areas like connecting the dots that didn't go over well. And it's really not too difficult to just make it up since it's just a bunch of circles, and it can be really forgiving on what you decide to do. Although I did this right away to show you what to do in that situation, it's best to wait until the very end to do the black pen on the top, just so that in case you attach the watercolors right away, it doesn't muddy up the page. So now I'm going to use the big flower and I'm going to add that on the side, and I'm going to continue to add stamps going off of the picture on the kit, and you can see I'm smudging the extra ink off of the acrylic block so that it doesn't transfer to the page. And I just keep referring back to that picture that's on the front of your page kit, but you don't have to do it the way that I do it. You could do it however you want. In fact, as I'm recreating this kit again, I ran into problems that I didn't have the first time. So you can see that I connect the stems using that Jelly Roll pen when I am going out too far, and looking back, I wish I had waited till the very end to do that, so that as I'm filling in the stamps, I can use the ones that I want without having that be an issue. Next, we're going to take these Neocolor 2 watercolor crayons and a water pen, and we're going to fill in the stamps with color. And this is my favorite part. It's super fun and relaxing. I forgot to put my scrap paper there and on the other side to protect it, and I got color on the other side of the page. And so I'll show you as I'm trying to take the color off and it's not working so great. I'll show you how I fix that. Right now I'm just letting it dry and I'm going back to my colors. You can use these crayons like crayons, but you don't need to fill in the entire image. because once you add the water, it makes it move around. And on these little blue pods, I'm doing light blue at the top and dark blue at the bottom. And then you just take your water pen and squeeze it a little bit to get the water to come out, and you can blend them together. And then if you go outside the lines like I'm doing there, you can just go back over it with clear water on your brush, and it'll lift the color up off the page. And that's how you can kind of clean it up if you mess up like I do all over the place on this page. And right here you'll see I smudged the top because it wasn't dry yet, and I went ahead and put my hand on it, and it's not coming up as I try and fix it. So again, I'm going to have to do some damage control up there. This is just a lesson to you to learn from my mistakes and start at the top and work your way over if you're right-handed like me. So to try and fix that, I think I can add a stamp on top of it, and it might help. Ultimately, I just end up using a white pen to kind of fill it in a little bit, and you'll see that later on. But if that happens to you and you're a perfectionist, you can try and add another stamp. You can try and lift the color up, or you can do what I end up doing and using a white pen to clean up some of the smudge marks. Again, this didn't happen to me my first go around, so I think I was just having an off day because I just was having problem after problem while making this video. And so it just goes to show that none of us are perfect, and we can all end up with beautiful pages no matter how many times we mess up. Here's a close-up of how I do the flowers. I like to add two colors. So this one has some pink and red, and I just put them in different areas on the flower and then add the water all at once and blend them together. And then you can go back if you need to and add more layers after it dries, or you can pick up some with a clear brush of water and it'll pick up some of the colors. So you can have lighter areas and darker areas. So that one I have done red and pink. This one I'm going to do purple and dark blue. And again, you just blend them all together at the same time, and it adds these really pretty colors. And that last flower I'm doing orange and yellow. And you can change colors with your watercolor brush just by cleaning it out on a paper towel next to you, or you can do it on the scrap paper. I'm going back over these leaves and adding some dark green on top of the light green that was there, just to add some more color in there. To help prevent more smudging, when I feel like I'm done, I'm going to shoot it real quick with my Ranger heat tool. And then when I feel like that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and start the next step by getting a glaze pen. And I go in between these flowers with the glaze pen. The glaze pens are really juicy. I had somebody say before, they flow really thick and they're glossy. After that's dry, I get a ruler to help make a straight line, and then, no joke, I just eyeball these sections. I don't really measure them. If you're a perfectionist, you can measure them. I just don't have time for that in my life, so I just kind of eyeball it and then go back and fix it where I feel like it needs it. And if your pen starts to gunk up on you, you just kind of wipe it to the side and clear it out. And then if you have issues where you're getting a bunch of white lines instead of where the pen should be flowing, just let it dry and then come back and do a second coat after that. I've had a lot of people with different books other than the Deseret book one put another section going up if you want. This is the white pen that I'm going to use to clean up some of these smudge marks. It actually is a little bit noticeable when I'm all done, but it's not, to me, as noticeable as the dark smudge lines. So I go around and just add that. Hopefully you learn from my mistake and you keep your hands clean throughout this page with just a baby wipe works so that you don't get the smudge marks that I got. And if this pen gunks up on you, you do the same thing. I actually just do it right on my hand where I clean it off, and then you can go back and use it some more. This doesn't come in your kit, but this is some washi tape that I happened to get on clearance at Hobby Lobby. That matches well enough with my page. I'm going to use that to hide the transfer that happened earlier on. This was not in my original layout, but a lot of times you can have some happy things happen when you mess up, and I think this washi tape looks really cute with the rest of the layout. And that's just an easy fix for covering up if it gets on places that you don't want it. Now I'm going to add my clear sticker above my stamps. And you might want to make sure that you don't put your stamps too high up. I've had some people where they just have to overlap the stamp with the sticker, but it still looked okay. And then I'm going to use the same concept with my tab. I'm going to do dark blue with the crayons and light blue at the top. But since this tab hasn't been gessoed, it doesn't blend as well, so just prepare for that. You need to do some more pre-blending work than you had to do on your pages. So after I get a coat of crayon on there, I'm going to just use my wet brush and blend it together. And I want it to be darker than that, so I'm going to dry it real quick and go ahead and do another coat exactly the same way. When it's done, you use the I am called word strips and stick them right on the top. Sometimes I have had them where they're too wide and I have to trim them, but in this case I didn't, so hopefully yours will fit perfectly. And then I attach the tab using a glue stick and some double-sided sticky tape. And then you can further attach that using the washi tape that comes in your kit. This next step is optional. I get a date stamp and I set it to today's date. And I use my ink pad, and I'm putting this on a piece of cardstock. And this particular stamp that I have doesn't come out all the way. It's kind of finicky that way. And so I just go over it with a gel pen to make it a little bit darker. Some people like to put the date on their page that they completed it. I like to do that, but other people don't. It's totally a personal preference. If you don't like it, then you can skip this step. I just use a stapler and staple it right on my pages. On the back side is just more margin, so I'm not covering up any words on the other side. And then I have these little flower clips that are add-ons that you can add to make your page look really cute. They are not part of the kit, but they are available in the store while supplies last. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.